why we celebrate Black women for surviving instead of asking why they have to fight so hard in the first place. I want to start today by telling you about someone who is changing the world in ways most people will never see on a magazine cover or a conference stage. Her name is Christina Moss, and she is a visionary leader whose work is quietly, powerfully reshaping the economic landscape for Black women entrepreneurs across North America. Christina is not just an advocate, she is a bridge builder, a truth teller, a fierce champion for the women who have been building empires with their bare hands, often without a single dollar of outside support. Her insights challenge everything we think we know about entrepreneurship, about success, about who gets to thrive in this economy. And what she shared with me, what I am about to share with you today, is nothing short of revolutionary. Let me start with a question that might make you uncomfortable. When you hear that Black women are the fastest growing group of entrepreneurs in North America, what do you feel? Pride, hope, maybe a sense of progress? I felt that too, until Christina shared something with me that stopped me cold. She said, yes, Black women are starting businesses at record rates. They are launching ventures. They are innovating. They are leading. But here's what the headlines do not tell you: they are also receiving the lowest rates of venture capital funding, just 0.2% in Canada, 0.2%. Let that sink in for a moment. The very group leading the charge in entrepreneurship, the very group showing up with vision and grit and brilliance, is being left behind by the systems designed to fuel growth. And here's the part that should make all of us angry. If Black women entrepreneurs had equitable access to capital, their businesses could add hundreds of billions of dollars to the economy. Hundreds of billions. So the narrative of progress, the one we love to celebrate and share and applaud, is incomplete. It is a story of resilience, yes, but it is also a story of systemic neglect. It is a story of a system that praises Black women for their strength while refusing to support them with resources. Christina helped me see that this is not just about money, it is about something much deeper. It is about a double burden, a unique intersection of gender and racial bias that Black women navigate every single day. They are not just fighting to be seen as women in a male dominated world, they are fighting to be seen as Black women in a world that often refuses to see them at all. They are fighting to be taken seriously. They are fighting to be valued. They are fighting to be funded. And yet they keep building. They keep innovating, they keep showing up. The question is, why are we not showing up for them? Why are we celebrating their resilience instead of dismantling the systems that make resilience a requirement for survival? Let me tell you about an organization that Christina introduced me to. It is called the Black Women Collective, and it exists in Canada. This is a group that was born out of necessity, out of the glaring gaps in funding, mentorship, and professional networks that Black women face. The collective offers education, financial literacy programs, and targeted support to help Black women entrepreneurs navigate a system that was not built with them in mind. The women who come to the collective are dealing with limited access to external funding. They are dealing with high student debt burdens. They are geographically concentrated in major cities, which restricts their access to resources and networks. But here's what is beautiful about this story: they are not waiting for the system to change. They are not sitting around hoping that one day someone will notice them. They are building their own pathways. They are creating virtual programs. They are offering workshops. They are connecting women to the knowledge and networks they need to scale their ventures. And it is working. Participants are reporting increased business knowledge, increased confidence, and some have successfully secured loans and grants using the collective's resources. The organization has served hundreds of women. It has influenced policy conversations. It has set a precedent for culturally relevant support systems. This is what happens when Black women take matters into their own hands. They do not just survive, they create pathways for others to thrive. They build tables when they are not given seats. They construct entire ecosystems when the existing ones refuse to let them in. But let us zoom out for a moment because the data Christina shared with me paints an even starker picture. There was a recent survey conducted by an organization called SoFi. They looked at over 1,000 women business owners across the United States, including Black women. The findings were sobering. 68% of these women used personal savings to start their businesses. 68%. That means no investors, no venture capital, no angel funding, just their own money. Money they saved while working full time jobs, money they scraped together while raising families, money they set aside while managing households and caring for aging parents. Only 3% secured venture capital, 3%. And the top challenges they faced: building a network and finding mentorship. Think about that for a moment. These women are entering industries, often male dominated ones, with no external financial help, no support network at launch, and yet they are succeeding. They are growing their client bases, they are increasing revenue, they are proving themselves in space that were never designed to welcome them. They are doing this by building their own networks. They are adapting their business models. They are seeking advice from other women entrepreneurs. They are rewriting the rules because the old rules were never written for them. They are innovating not because they want to, but because they have to, because survival demands it. Christina and I talked about what this means in the context of the soft girl era, this sacred space where high achieving Black women are learning to unlearn survival mode. Because here's the truth that nobody wants to say out loud: entrepreneurship for Black women is often born out of necessity, not luxury. It is born out of being passed over for promotions, it is born out of being underpaid and underestimated and undervalued. It is born out of a need to create something of their own because the traditional systems have failed them. And so, when we talk about softness, when we talk about rest and boundaries and joy, we have to acknowledge that for many Black women entrepreneurs, those things feel like luxuries they cannot afford. They are hustling because they have to. They are grinding because the alternative is invisibility. They are working twice as hard because anything less means being overlooked entirely. And yet, Christina reminded me of something profound. Softness is not the opposite of strength. Softness is the reclamation of power. It is the refusal to let a broken system define your worth. It is the courage to say, I deserve support. I deserve rest. I deserve to build something beautiful without having to do it all alone. It is the audacity to demand that the world meet you where you are instead of constantly contorting yourself to fit into spaces that were never meant for you. Let me share another story with you because this is not just happening in one place. In California, like there are programs like She Works and the Holly J. Mitchell Girls Empowerment Leadership Institute. These programs are providing skills, training, empowerment, and leadership development for Black women and girls. They exist because Black women in California are overrepresented in poverty and housing instability. They exist because Black women earn about 60 cents for every dollar paid to white men. 60 cents. These programs are not just teaching skills, they are building confidence. They are creating access to better jobs. They are supporting women who want to launch businesses or lead community initiatives. Participants are gaining new skills. They are moving into leadership roles. Some are even starting their own ventures. These initiatives were launched in response to persistent disparities, and they are transforming data into action. They are proof that when you invest in Black women, When you give them the tools and the support and the space to grow, they do not just succeed, they soar. And they lift entire communities with them. They create jobs, they mentor the next generation, they reinvest in their neighborhoods, they become the change they were told to wait for. So here's what Christina wants us to understand: Black women entrepreneurs are not just driving growth, they are redefining what growth looks like. They are showing us that success is not just about profit margins and venture capital rounds. It is about community. It is about resilience. It is about creating something that reflects your values and serves your people. But they cannot do it alone. They need access to capital, yes, but they also need access to networks, to mentorship, to industry knowledge. They need to be included in spaces that have historically excluded them, even within women focused entrepreneurship circles. And when those spaces fail them, they build their own. They create collectives. They form alliances. They support each other because that is what Black women do. They survive, they adapt, they innovate, and they make a way out of no way. But here's the uncomfortable truth that we need to sit with: the barriers they face are not accidental, they are not random, they are structural. They are the result of systems that were designed to keep certain people out: higher loan denial rates, limited access to child care, geographic concentration. These are not just obstacles, they are the architecture of inequality. And until we dismantle that architecture, until we actively work to create equitable access to resources, we are complicit in holding Black women back. And when we hold Black women back, we hold everyone back because their success is not just good for them, it is good for the economy, it is good for innovation, it is good for all of us. When Black women thrive, entire communities thrive. When Black women are funded, entire industries are transformed. When Black women are supported, the future becomes more equitable for everyone. Here's what I need you to hear: this is not a story about Black women needing to be more resilient. They are already resilient. This is a story about a system that needs to change. This is a story about investors who need to write bigger checks. This is a story about allies who need to open more doors. This is a story about peers who need to share resources, make introductions, amplify voices. This is about all of us recognizing that when we invest in Black women, we are investing in a future that is more innovative, more prosperous, and more just. So here is my challenge to you: stop celebrating Black women for their resilience and start asking why they have to be so resilient in the first place. Stop applauding their strength and start dismantling the systems that require them to be strong just to survive. Stop waiting for someone else to act and start acting yourself, because the time for studies is over. The time for reports is over. The time for conversations is over. The time for action is now. What will you do this week? Will you invest in a Black woman founder? Will you introduce a Black woman entrepreneur to someone in your network? Will you amplify the work of a Black woman who is building something extraordinary? Will you challenge the systems in your own organization that perpetuate these disparities? Will you use your privilege, your platform, your power to create change? Or will you stay comfortable? Will you stay silent? Will you continue to be part of the problem? Because here is the truth: we do not get to celebrate progress while ignoring the systems that prevent it. We do not get to applaud resilience while refusing to dismantle the barriers that make it necessary. We do not get to claim we care about equity while doing nothing to create it. The choice is yours, and the time is now. Let us build a world where Black women entrepreneurs do not just survive. Let us build a world where they thrive, where they do not just hustle, where they rest, where they do not just build alone, where they build with the support, the resources, and the recognition they have always deserved. That is the world Christina Moss is fighting for. And that is the world we all need to fight for too. Not tomorrow, not next week, today, right now. Because Black women have been waiting long enough and they deserve better. They deserve everything. And it is time we gave it to them.